Hi, welcome to Sheepish, episode 33. Today is Sunday, March 9th, 2013, and I'm Holly. So I hope you guys have had a good couple of weeks since we last talked. Mine have been busy, stressful, busy. Can't say that enough. Um, so yeah, I haven't gotten nearly as much knitting done as I would have liked. I've gotten a couple of other things done, but we'll go ahead and get started. I think that we first off, what's happening, Chez Sheepish? We have a drawing. Or no, I'm sorry, we have two drawings. So remember last time that I recorded that I said that I was going to hold off on doing the January and February, or the January knit along socks thread drawing until I next recorded, then I would do the February one, which is exactly what happened. I got all of the packages out in the mail. I've heard back from one person. Thank you, Susan, for letting me know. But I hope everybody who was waiting on a package received theirs and loves what they got. So now I can start anew. Hooray! It only took me to March. You guys are the best. But let's go ahead and get started with the drawing. I know. So the January socks thread, we had, let's see, I've got it pulled up in a couple of different places. We had 14 people. We had 15 posts, but the first and the last posts, well, the first post was mine, the last post was Michelle's, where we were commenting on stuff. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to go 2 through 14. Let me pull the camera back up so I can show you. You can kind of see it there. Yeah. Trust me, it says 2 through 14. So done. Start. So number 2, that hardly ever happens. Awesome. So let me scroll up. Okay, good. I do have that up. And that is Angie Ship. Let me scroll up on here so I can actually. So that's Andrea from Ajax, Ontario. And this is what she did. Oops, there we go. Here. Sorry about the glare. Those are kind of fab. So awesome, Andrea. Contact me. Let me know your deets, so your address, and what your favorite colors are. And I will find a skein of sock yarn to send to you. Awesome. Okay, so that takes care of January, and I'm going to write down, I had a pen here somewhere. There we go. I had a pen, I swear. So January is post number 2. Angie Ship. Awesome. Okay, so that brings us to February. And so February we had, pulling it up on 2 different devices. I know. Okay, so we had 26 posts, I believe. Let me double check. Yes, 26 posts. So I'm going to go into my random number, change that. Okay, pulling this up. See if I can hide me and focus on that. You can kind of see it. Now it's blowing itself out. It really does say 2 to 26, I promise. Sometimes that works better than others. I think because I'm having a light issue that I've tried to overcompensate. So I have this window open and I've got lights on over here, and I think that that's just blowing everything out. Sorry. So start. So post number 22. So let's see who that is. Let me go back to the previous page on this. And scroll down. Okay, awesome. Let me go down here so I can look up information. And our winner is Latina Knits, who is Bethany from Alexandria. So right around the corner, hooray! Whoops, there we go. Aren't they fab? They are in String Theory Colorworks. That's very, very cool. It looks like they're just a simple rib at the top. And so awesome, Bethany. Please get in touch with me. I'm going to write this down while I'm thinking of it. 22 Latina Knits. So get in touch with me. Since you're local, you have the option of either having me mail them to you, and so just send me your information, or we can meet up and I can give them to you in person. Just remember to send me your favorite colors so I can find something for you. So thank you guys for your participation. I know that I haven't opened the March thread yet, and I will do that. I meant to do it earlier. Meant to do it yesterday. But it's one of those things that just kept slipping from my radar. So I will go ahead and I will do that today after I finish recording while I wait for this to compress. So yeah, thank you so much everybody for participating, and I can't wait to see what you guys knit for March. So yeah, awesome. Other things that are on the horizon, not a whole heck of a lot. I've been teaching at Fiberspace. I started a new beginning knitter class yesterday, so that's good. Hopefully it'll go as wonderfully as all the rest of them have gone. I was fighting a headache all day yesterday, so I'm not happy with me, but hopefully nobody else noticed. Yeah. If you've been following me on Instagram, you guys have seen my posts, or if you're a friend of me on Facebook, you've seen my posts that have not been the happiest right now, just because I've been fighting. I have asthma. I've been fighting that, or I've been dealing with it since I was like 12, I think. Which in itself is not a bad thing. It's something that, is manageable, but because of the healthcare situation and my insurance at work not being awesome, I had to go see, I've been putting off seeing the doctor this winter. This winter has been kicking my butt when it comes to my asthma. I've been wheezy for most of the winter, and that's never a good sign, but it just finally, I got to a point where I couldn't breathe, not without difficulty. So I decided that I was going to finally go see the doctor. And yes, I should have seen the doctor earlier, blah, blah, blah. And luckily I didn't need the nebulizer treatment that I thought I was going to need, but I walked out of there with prescriptions for $300 worth of medicine. Yeah. Actually, one of the medications was going to cost almost $300, and the nice people at CVS gave me an extra care card discount and applied it towards that, so it came under $200, but total it was almost $300 that I spent. Which is, it's annoying only that I don't make a lot, and I'm expected to pay for everything out of pocket until I hit this ridiculous deductible. And I may cut all of this out. I don't know. But it's been an expensive couple of days. But luckily I'm finally starting to feel a little bit better. I'm not wheezing when I'm breathing in, and I really, really want winter to be over. So if any of you have an in on with Mother Nature, let her know that I'm done with winter. She and I haven't been on speaking terms for a long time. But yeah. So let's go ahead and get started with what's on the current roster. So Hero is still on the current roster. I've not worked on it at all over the last couple of weeks. My cat's been trying to work on it. Yeah, George has been pulling it out of its bag. He hasn't been doing that up until a couple of days ago, but he's been pulling it out of its bag, dragging it around. So right now the bag is folded up on itself and is in a place where he doesn't go. I'll get back to it. I just haven't had the time or the motivation. What I have been working on is over here, and it's caught on like 20 other things. Okay. I dragged my ball winder out the other night and threw it back there, and it got caught on this. So the Kennebec cowl, done out of Shelter, and that's showing up much, much bluer. That's a little more true, but it's still a little too warm. And this is in the Faded Quilt colorway. I took this to the doctor's office with me, and I worked on that. I Instagrammed it, as always. And as I was working on it, I realized that I have a couple more spots where it's just not matching up. I've come to the realization that I really just need to rip back past those spots and fix them. I'm really not looking forward to that. Because it's not something that's really easy to drop down. It's brioche rib, which is easy enough, but it's not something that's really super easy to drop down. And since this is eventually going to be living in the shop, I don't want it to look bad. So this is in timeout for a little bit. It's been in timeout for the last couple of days. I'll get back around to it because I do need to get this done. I'm still on the second ball. Wow. Sorry for the light, guys. I'm going to see if I can turn something down. It's a little better. It's a little darker, though. Anyway, so that's the Kennebec. It's still sitting in this. It looks like I haven't done any work on it, but I have. I've knit about 1.5 inches more onto it. But this is a skein that never ends. So this has been living in my purse. It's probably going to come out for a couple of days just since it's been in timeout. Yeah, we'll see. And so that gave me the opportunity to finally cast on, cast on the second sock of my monkey socks. This is out of Unwind Yarn Company's Journey Sock. And it is in the Water Lilies colorway as part of the Two Crafty Girls Yarn Club. It looks like, that's a little closer to true. Looks like that. Is very pretty. And it's living in my Slip Stitch Studios Harry Potter Sock Plus bag, as I just dropped everything to try and get this untangled. Oh, the joys of podcasting. You guys get to see these things live. As I just twisted that up. Sorry, people. You guys love me anyway, right? So that's been living in that. I picked it up yesterday and cast on for the second sock, and I'm about 5 rows in of the twisted rib. So I'm a quarter of the way where I want to be. I'm actually going to go see Michelle tonight. We're going to hang out. She's going to cook. And I get to spend time with my god dog too. So I'm going to take these with me, and it makes for a nice portable knit. So there's that. And the thing that's probably gotten the most work, because I've been doing a lot of knitting right before bed, has been my Doctor Who inspired Albers cowl. And that's living in my Fat Squirrel Doctor Who bag. I still love this bag, and it's awesome, and it's huge. I mean, really, this has got, so I have finished, and you guys saw this already, the Ninth Doctor, the Christopher Eccleston square, and I am almost finished. I should hold it like this. So I am almost finished with my David Tennant square. This has been perfect, easy knitting. It's been great hockey knitting. This has been my hockey project. And I've just had a blast doing this. So, I mean, it's just garter stitch. I'm at that point where I have the pattern. I know how many rows I need to do. This is the last color on this. So I just need to finish out. I think I've got 7 or 8 more rows on this side. Do the same on this side, and then cast on and knit all of this above, and then I will be done with the second square. So this is holding the yarn, ow, I just stabbed myself, for the next square, so for my Matt Smith square, and that's going to be this. I've changed my mind. I was originally going to do a solid gray, and I've changed my mind because this reminds me of Matt Smith a little bit more. It's a little more tweedy. This is, where is it? This is Miss Bab's Yummy Toes, which is a 2-ply fingering weight yarn. It's 100% merino, and it is in the Ansel colorway. I'm assuming for Ansel Adams, which also warms my geeky little heart. Yeah, you guys can't really see all of the wonderful complexities of this, but it's awesome. So that's going to be this, the red that I used before, the unknown red, the plum, and then the brown that I'm using. So the plum and the brown are both from Neighborhood Fiber Company. This is Druid Hill. This is 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. This is the unknown red. So all of these are going to be in the next block. I don't know what order they're going to be in. I originally thought that I was going to start off with the Tweety one, but now I'm kind of thinking that I'm going to start with the brown and then work my way up and out. I think I'm going to end with the purple, but it's just a matter of the placement of the red and the white and gray. So there is that. It's making a lot of progress. Of course, it's making that progress right as it starts to warm up. It's been a beautiful weekend here. It was so warm yesterday. I was able to drive around with the windows down in the car, doing a number of my sinuses, but whatever. I was able to drive around with the windows down. I had a light sweater on, and I took that off because I was just like, I'm so hot. This week it's supposed to get up to the 60s. So yeah, that'll be done just in time for everything too. Yeah. And so another thought on that is I'm trying to think of how I'm going to put this all together. Now, Amanda from the We Are Yarn podcast says that she shamelessly stole the idea of a Doctor Who themed Albers cowl from me. And she calls it her timey-wimey cowl. Or timey-wimey Albers cowl, something. But it's timey-wimey. And I was watching her podcast the other day because I was catching up on a lot of the back episodes. And she was like, it's not like Holly gave this to me and said, Amanda, you must knit it. Although in retrospect, I mean, when she said that I have to do this, I was like, you must go forth and do this. She actually tied all of hers together using a gorgeous gold and red, and did, I guess, either a slip stitch or a single crochet around, like to join all of the blocks, and then around the top and the bottom. So I might be shamelessly stealing that idea from her. Either that or I'm going to find the blue that I used for my Allen Z socks and tie it all together with TARDIS blue. We shall see. But I was just like, that's an awesome idea. I don't know how it's going to work in retrospect. Or not in retrospect. When I think about it, I'm not sure exactly how it's going to look. I mean, and if it looks awful, I can just go back and I can mattress stitch everything together like the pattern says. But yeah, it's kind of nice to see that that's on its way to being done. And if I work on it, it will be. It's amazing how that goes. You have to work on something for it to be done. So that's what's on the current roster. Yeah, I haven't added any. Well, oh, I thought that instead of trying to think of a new name for when I talk about my cross stitching, I thought that I'm just going to add it to the current roster because it is. It's something I'm working on. It's something that's been getting attention. So, yeah. So also on the current roster, the last minute edition, is my March Square to the Once Upon a Time stitch along from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. So if, in case you're not able to tell, this month is the Three Little Pigs. So I've got, the wolf here. And I've got outlines of the pigs right now. I had to take out this pig's ear because I had put it one stitch over, and so I ripped it out last night, and I need to redo that. I've got the pigs started. The house full of bricks. I need to outline the bricks. And there are some mistakes in here. There are. I'm not going to lie. It's just going to make this block uniquely me. Because once I discovered the mistakes, I wasn't about to rip out everything else that I did. Because that would have made me sad. So, yeah. There is that. I actually also, while I was waiting for, because I had finished up February with some good time. And so while I was waiting for that, I started on the border because I've been really super lazy on that. So really when I say I started on the border, I started on the title. I really do need to actually get a better start on the border and get more of the month grids done. You can kind of see here that I started the border there. But yeah, I want to get through March and I want to see how much I can get done. And March has actually been going pretty quickly when I work on it, other than when I discover that I've made a mistake and I need to rip something out or that I'm ignoring it. Where did I put that? Like, I had the needle here. Put it back on its needle keeper. So there hasn't been anything that's joined the alumni roster. Everything is in a state. So that brings us to the scouting roster. Yeah. I fell down, went boom. We're actually on some of these, I ordered it a while ago and then received it recently and then, yeah. So it still counts as falling down, going boom, but I ordered it ages ago. And some of it I ordered not too long ago. So let's go ahead and start off with what I did. I put on Instagram a picture of the label. I got my Highland Handmaids Snapshots of Maine Yarn Club for February. And this is the picture that Heather and Paul took. Let me see if I can block that glare. There we go. So Paul Bunyan. Many people know the legend of Paul Bunyan. But yeah, so, and this is taken, it's the Paul Bunyan statue in Bangor, Maine. And Heather actually went and did a huge, she wrote up a huge, story isn't the right word, entry on it, I guess entry. And while, you know, I guess I didn't realize that how part of Maine Paul Bunyan is. So that was really interesting to find out, and knowing that the statue itself um, has little touches that are very Maine. Like apparently the statue is wearing a pair of LL Bean boots. I used to work for Bean way back at the, I guess you could say at the beginning of this century, literally in 2000. So I lived in Freeport for a few months training, and then helped bring the company down to Tyson's. And so I know of the bean culture. So but I had never been up to Bangor. And when I was in Bangor, or when I flew into Bangor, we didn't see that. Yeah. So all that to say, this is the gorgeousness that was sent. Oh my. She's calling it Faded Flannel. Faded Flannel. And it is on her red ash worsted, which is 100% Targhee, 275 yards. And I'm kind of in love with this. Immediately when I pulled it out of the envelope, I was kind of like, oh, this isn't going to be, this can't be as soft as I think it might be. Because I was like, oh, it's kind of soft. I immediately did my normal trick. And Heather, if you're watching, you might find this funny. I don't know. Anybody who knows me from my yarn store days, from when I ran a yarn store, knows that I did this. But yeah, I immediately stuck it on my cleavage. The reason that I do that is because I am so sensitive to yarn, or to animal fibers. I am not allergic. Sensitive. I do this to test to see how long I can actually have something next to my skin. And vendors, yarn reps, love to try and test me on this. And so I immediately stuck it right here. And, you know, like right now I'm feeling just a touch of the prickle, but really, this is gorgeous and soft. And I love this. I kind of want more. If this is how all Targhee feels, I want a sweater's worth, because this is kind of awesome. Oh, I've got hair on it. Yeah. Now, I have yet to decide what I'm going to do with all of these. Part of me, like I said last time with the January offering, that I was thinking about knitting a hat. Part of me wants to crochet a blanket. I know, crazy, right? And when I was talking about crocheting a blanket, like doing a granny square, just a simple granny square using up all of the yarn. And this is where I can't decide if I want to do individual granny squares for each month, or if I want to do one granny square and just make it one big granny square. So adding in each month as a new row, or wherever I leave off. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. That way I also have this nice commemorative blanket, essentially, of this yarn club of 12 months of Snapshots from Maine. What do you think? Let me know. I'm also thinking that this is something that if I do it as one big granny square, it doesn't become as portable. But not knowing if all of her bases have the same amount of yardage, and I don't think they do. I think they vary just a little bit, not too much. I want to make sure that I can make the squares all the same size too. So, thoughts? Let me know. But I love this. Michelle actually texted me when she got hers, and she got hers the day before I got mine. And she was like, I wish that I could get another skein of this. And I kind of do too. Because if I had 2 skeins of it, then I would say, screw the blanket idea, and I would knit, like, I would do what I hate doing, and I would knit a scarf for me out of this, because it's gorgeous. But yeah, so I think I'm going to go that route. So there is that. Yeah, there's a lot. And if you are a part of the Mean Girls Yarn Club and you have not received your If you've not received your shipment, you want to go ahead and fast forward this for a few. And you don't want to be spoiled, I should say. If you don't care about being spoiled, keep looking. Because I kind of love this. So, Mean Girls Yarn Club. It is called One Hot Mess. So this is on Dizzy Blonde Studios Superwash Sock. And it's 560 yards. And wow, that's actually fairly accurate. And you can see all the plums and the burgundy and the reds going into like the coral. And so the mean girl that's represented this time is from Dexter, Lila Tournay. Now, I don't watch, or I didn't watch Dexter when it was on. Plus, you get a cute little stitch marker. Let's see. You can kind of see that. Yeah, a little bit. So I looked her up. And this is very, very, well, this is also what I got with this. So a tiny little Stitch Saver crochet hook with the word pyro on. Now, since I didn't watch Dexter, I had to actually look up why. And now I know. Now I know. And I'm like, oh, that's very appropriate. But also, these are very me colors. Holy hell, these are very me colors. I love this. So, thank you to Laura of Dizzy Blonde Studios. I can't wait till the next one. And one thing that I love about Laura is that she includes pattern recommendations. Now, I frequently do forget where I put these. Although I did find, remember how the last time I did this, I couldn't remember who it was? Who was the mean girl? Yeah, I should have. Because that black and green, and yeah, Bellatrix Lestrange. But I love how she, matches things up. She adds that. She does the cute little touches and adds in candy. Where is it? There it is. Let me see if I can reach it. Sorry about all of the extra. Chocolate covered gummy bears, y'all. Chocolate covered gummy bears. I have not opened these. I am going to. So thank you to Laura at Dizzy Blonde Studios for that. Now, I don't remember, excuse me as I lean a little out of frame, but everything is over here. I don't remember if I showed this to you last time. I think I did, though, because it's open. I was going to show you the Another Crafty Girl which was my last shipment from the Two Crafty Girls Yarn Club. And I think I did because it's open. But yes, the John William Waterhouse. So sad that they're not going forward with that, but that just means that they can do more for their businesses. And now that I say that, I'm like, oh yeah, I did do that. So sorry, you saw that twice. So I forget what podcast I was watching. It's really dangerous when I watch podcasts and somebody shows something awesome. And I understand that some of you have the same issue when it comes to me showing some stuff. Because I do relish being an enabler. But I forget who I was watching, and they were talking about Desert Vista Dye Works. And I've heard so many people talk about them, and I have yet to knit with them, but I had yet to order from them. So I decided to pause that and go and order or see what was in the shop. Now, I can't just stop with one. So I managed to snag on the Viso base. A lot of you have probably already seen this. This is the Zombody Loves You colorway. And this was one of the Valentine's colors that she did. And it is a self-striping. Actually, I think all of these are. This is another one of the Valentine's colorways. And it's called Convo Me because of all the colors for Conversation Hearts. Again, these are not me colors, but I love them. And then this one, which I got, again, not a very me, like something that you would look at and go, oh, that's very holly. I would look at this and go, oh, this is very fruit. Roller Disco Rainbow. Am I not right? If you watch Silly Fruit, if you watch the Sassy Knitter Pants podcast, Sassy Pants Knitter podcast, you would know. But yeah, so I got those three. I love how they feel. So this is her Viso base, which is a 75% superwash merino and 25% fingering, and they're about 462 yards. So, they're pretty. Yeah, that's not all. You guys are so used to me saying that, aren't you? So I think that I was on the Ravelry boards. This is also one that was brought on by podcast. Yeah. I was looking at, and I'm actually going in here for a second. I've been looking to try and get this yarn for a while because I've seen it a lot on the Nerd Girl Knits podcast. And it is Biscottes C. So Biscottes C, I think, is how you would say it, in the Felix base, which is self-striping, and it's 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon. And 384-ish yards. And this is the Scotland Inspiration colorway. And this is washing out so much. But you've got this pale butter yellow and this gorgeous, gorgeous teal going into lighter teals and into sky blues, and this burgundy into wine into, yeah, I didn't get to stop there. So yeah, I got this from the Loopy U. As before I forget to say that. This is Uniforme du Sorcier B. So yeah, Harry Potter themed. It's Gryffindor. I had to get it. And again, another one that reminds me of fruit, kind of. It's Princesse et les Sept Mails. I'm assuming Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, but I'm not sure. My French is kind of rusty, so I don't know. When I looked it up, that's not necessarily the word for dwarf, but it's close. So kind of bright and fun, and yeah. I'm in a self-striping kick. I don't know where that came from. But that's not all. I'm so bad. Fiberspace posted on Friday. I think they tweeted and posted on Facebook. I don't know if they put it on their on their Ravelry page, on the forum at least, that they had gotten a shipping notice for 4 boxes from Miss Beps. On Saturday, when I got in to teach my class, it was all out on a table. They put it up on Rav, they put it up on Facebook, they put it up on Instagram. Just a huge table covered in Yowza, Yummy, and Yummy Toes. Or there was a bin of Yummy Toes, I should say. So I started off looking for the Yummy Toes and Ansel. I couldn't find it at first. I had to dig. And when I found it, I was like, oh, thank goodness. But I also got Yummy Toes and Oyster. Oh, I wish I could say that was all. But no, because I found the yummy in funny papers. Holy crap, that's beautiful. Again, kind of fruit-like, but also kind of meat. And I know that this says that it's a sport, but it looks really thin. I could probably knit that as socks with like non-sport weight socks, right? Yeah. And then there was Perfectly Reckless. And followed by Shaken, Not Stirred. Oh, this is washing out so much. Like, this is looking so much darker than it is, but oh, it's gorgeous. And as I'm looking at this, I'm going, perhaps I'm on a little bit of a color kick. So yeah, that's all. Isn't that enough? For the scouting report. So that brings me to really what's making me happy this week. And first off, what's making me happy is I want to thank those of you who have left reviews on iTunes for me. That means a lot. And I wanted to thank Dale Kwan, Chain of Fools, who's also Fibertown, and Emily, Jan Pixie, and Crazy Knitting Fool. Thank you guys for leaving me the reviews and the ratings. They help. If you guys are so inclined, if anyone else is so inclined, please do leave a rating, at least a star rating or a review on iTunes. It does help people find me. And do that for any of the podcasters that you listen or watch, because that's kind of awesome and we do love it. And when I discovered that, because I was like, I don't have any reviews. What? And I happened to look and actually press the review thing on mine. It's like, oh. Now, I do know that there's a way to look up reviews from other countries. I have yet to do that. But one of these days I will, just to see if anybody else in some other country has reviewed me. So, why not? So, yeah. So the next thing that's making me happy this week is there are 3 new to me podcasts that I've been listening to. And actually, one I've been listening to for a while. I just haven't said anything about it. So that's Yarns at Yin Hu, and that's hosted by Sarah Pomegranate. These are all audio ones, and Sarah's just got a lovely voice. Right now, I think that on her Ravelry group, I think they're having like a cook-along. So they pick an ingredient to focus on each month and share recipes and thoughts on that, plus obviously the knitting. And that's been really interesting. I think February was lentils, and I like lentils, but I really haven't experimented with them a lot. So I heard, I have yet to actually go into the group, the cooking groups. It's her group on Rav, and she's got a thread for cooking. I really need to words, they're hard. And pull a couple of recipes from that, but it's really piqued my interest a little bit more. The next one is one that we talked about on the podcast thread that's on the Sheepish board, and because we were all sharing podcasts, and somebody mentioned Curious Handmade, and that's with Helen. And I said that I wanted to check that out, and I actually did. Immediately following that, I downloaded like her most recent at the time. So I think that was episode 11 or 12. And I really liked it, so I went ahead and downloaded everything else. And she's got a lovely voice. She's from the UK. But it's just really nice to kind of sit and listen to and knit, or in my case, I actually listen to podcasts a lot while I work. So it's been a nice calming influence. And the last new to me podcast, which is actually a relatively new podcast, is Actually Knitting, and that's hosted by Michelle. And she is in North Carolina, I believe, and she is a knitter, a teacher, and an actress. So her podcast is acting themed, like all of her sections are. And she's really interesting to listen to. And again, she's got a lovely voice. And I really like listening to, when it comes to knitting podcasts, I like some of the more raucous ones, because there are some, but more often than not, when I'm listening to a knitting podcast, I really want to have that calming influence. And that kind of gets me in the mood to knit. And so yes, those 3 podcasts, if you have not tried them, I would recommend checking them out because they are kind of awesome. And again, they're audio podcasts. We had a discussion, and I'd like to revive that discussion. You know, who listens to audio podcasts? How do you get through your audio podcasts? How do you watch all the video podcasts that you might be subscribed to? Me, I watch a lot of video podcasts like right before bed. Or like this week at work, I was just watching some at work while I worked, which was kind of nice. But when it comes to audio podcasts, I listen to a ton. And I listen to them while I'm at work, when I'm in the car. I very rarely listen to the radio anymore. I will listen to them when I'm in the gym, because I prefer listening to podcasts rather than music, because when I listen to music, and I love music, but when I listen to music and like I'm trying to do Zombies 5K, which I need to restart, by the way, but that's beside the point. But when I'm trying to do that, I find that I run way too fast. So at least when I'm listening to podcasts, I'm listening in on a conversation. I have scared people at the gym because I've just burst out laughing at other podcasts. Yeah. So if you have anything to add, find the thread on the group, and I'd love to hear from you on that. Or if you have any podcasts that you think that you want everybody to know about, or if you're starting your own. Third thing that's making me happy this week, this tea. Michelle gave me, she actually, on her, I guess, last trip to the UK, because she goes over, she's got friends over there. She went to the Fortnum and Mason, I guess, shop and bought some tea. And she bought the wedding blend, and we both were sniffing it when she got home. Her best friend from college was out a couple weeks ago. And so we were having tea after dinner. And so I was sniffing this going, this is really good. And so she gave me a baggie of it to try. And I love it. It's their wedding blend. So if you are in the UK, you can definitely pick it up. You already know about it though. As I'm not in the UK and it doesn't seem like anybody sells wedding blend over here, I will be ordering it from the UK. But it's the first tea, like when I drink tea, I've never been a milk in my tea drinker. And it's the first tea that I actually like milk in. I don't know what the milk does. It kind of rounds out the flavor, but it's really good. So that's making me happy. And in the what's making me happy but also making me really frustrated and sad, hockey. Since hockey's been back, we've not been doing that great. Last night was our first win in 4 games. Yeah, we were on a 3-game losing streak, and that was our 4th game. We are at the point, the Washington Capitals are at the point where we need to start winning if we want to make the playoffs at all. We are 2 spots outside of the wild card slots. And if you don't understand, that's fine. But we are 2 spots out of being able to go into the playoffs. And we've got, I forget how many games left, but not many. So we need to start winning. And last night we really did. We played 50 minutes of bleh hockey. And then all of a sudden, my favorite hockey player, the one whose jersey sits back here, Carl Alsner, got his 2nd goal of the season to start us on well, on a streak that got us to that we won last night. We won 3-2 against Phoenix Coyotes. We've been having lots and lots of trades go on. The trade deadline ended on Wednesday. And basically what that means is that owners and general managers can trade players for other players, for picks in the draft, all that stuff. So we did a lot of trades, and by and large, I'm okay with the trades. There is one that I'm devastated about. We traded one of our goalies, Michael Newvert, and we traded him to Buffalo for Yaroslav Halak, who is a very good goalie. I'm glad that he's part of our team. But we traded him, and that made me very sad. However, we also traded a couple of guys I was okay with. So, yeah, that's all over though, and I'm happy about that. We actually have well, he's already in the U.S., but we had a prospect 4 years ago that we've been waiting on for 4 years who's finally decided to leave the KHL and come to the U.S., and he will be making his debut for the Caps at tomorrow night's game against Pittsburgh, which I'm hoping against hope that he has a great game. We need to win. We really need to win. We're playing back-to-backs with Pittsburgh, which just means that Monday we play them and we're playing them here. Tuesday we're playing them and we're playing them in Pittsburgh. Back-to-backs are hard for any team, but for a team that's playing each other in both back-to-backs, it kind of evens things out because we're both going to be as exhausted as the other team the next night. So this should be interesting. This should be very interesting. But yeah, so that's what's making me happy. Trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think so. Yeah, that whole yarn segment took the longest. So again, thank you guys if you've left me reviews. If you've subscribed on YouTube, I have gotten those notices, and I thank you for that. I really appreciate that. And yeah, so have a great week. I will see you next time. If you'd like to reach me, you can always email me at sheepishknitting@gmail.com. I am on Ravelry as Knit Girl, spelled conventionally. That's now kind of a running joke. And I'm on Instagram as knitgirl726. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If it's your first time, thanks for giving me a shot. And if you are returning, you guys know how much I great big puffy heart you. So have a great week. Knit, stitch, and crochet on. I'll see you next time. Bye.